can I design a robust event taxonomy to ensure consistent data collection across different teams and projects? Every implementation starts with this, and I like to spend more time than most people want to spend time on this because it's the basis of the future of your quality of analysis data, everything. I know everybody's excited and they want to shoot data into Amplitude and start doing stuff, but if you get this wrong, you're going to build yourself into a corner and you're going to be stuck anyways somehow. So there's a couple of principles when we do event design or taxonomy. One is naming conventions. The other one is syntax. What are naming conventions? Naming conventions are basically how you start naming your actions and your events. Typically, Amplitude likes to use what they call object action. Textbook, but I think it's worth it to go through this. What does this actually mean? It means that you're going to name things. Or the object could be song and the action could be played. Why is this important? Because it means that we have a naming convention in order to build future events. Song played could be button clicked, could be order completed, could be sign up completed, could be checkout initiated, right? You get a fill, you get the drift. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out how are we going to structure objects? Why is this important? Because sometimes if we don't have this convention, on one Blue Monday, as there was yesterday, somebody could decide to actually do this. Play a song. And all of a sudden we get data problems because this could theoretically be the same event, but people start naming things differently. And as a result, we get data quality issues, discrepancies, etc. So the first thing is naming conventions. And with naming conventions, we also like to add a tense. In our case, what we're doing is the completed past. So what we're doing is song played, as if the action is completed, which means that actually the user initiated or played that song. That's the action. An order has been completed. A checkout has been completed. So it gives us a fairly good self-explanatory description of what the event is designed. Next, we have syntax. Amplitude typically uses capitalized casing, which means that the event would look something like song played. That being said, song played snake cased doesn't really matter. Do whatever you like, what your developers like, but at least be consistent. If somebody tomorrow wants to track the completion of a form and they're describing, hey, I want this user to fill in the form and we want to track how many people actually completed the form. If you have a naming convention and a syntax, it's actually going to be fairly easy. Your naming convention is going to be, in this example, object action, which means it's going to be form completed. If we use this type of syntax, if we use the snake case syntax, it's going to be form completed. The only thing we have to align on is, for once and for all, what's the syntax and what's the naming convention system we're going to use. And from there on forward, you should not be hitting any problems anymore. It's very important. Why? Because people might be leaving the company as well as people joining the company. Developers in their past might have used snake-cased and assumed that snake-cased is used everywhere. Others might have assumed capitalized casing and assume that it will be used everywhere as well. So being very explicit on this one pager in Confluence, in Notion, wherever you build things, to specifically describe these are the rules that we use for event design in our company will save you a ton of work.